Over the years, there have been a lot of toys. When we were kids, we all had a doll or an action figure that was something special, something that left an impression on us that would last forever. To this day, we still look back and remember those little plastic treasures that made us smile. Bulging biceps, the power sword, and furry boots. Are these the makings of an awesome action figure? Well, if you were a child in the 80s, then you're damn right it is. He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, played a very important role to, well, my childhood as well as several other people's childhoods. I couldn't wait to sit down in front of the TV every single day and watch Masters of the Universe with my He-Man and Skeletor figures in hand. He played a very important role in my early life, and that is why He-Man will always be considered a plastic treasure. Mattel released the very first He-Man action figure in 1981. The figure included the famous power sword, a battle axe, a shield, and a removable chest plate. The figure had an action feature where if you twisted his waist, he would do what they called a power punch. This action feature would become a staple to many future Masters of the Universe figures. This particular He-Man figure would be re-released in 1982 with his famous sidekick, Battle Cat. This was only the beginning of an entire series of He-Man action figures yet to come. '1984 was the first year that we got our very first variant of He-Man. Just like the previous release, he came with the power sword, the battle axe, and a shield. But this He-Man had something very special and very different. Notice his chest. He's got this really cool spring-loaded action feature where if he'd hit his chest, it would appear to be battle damaged. Hit it again, and he gets even more damaged. How cool is that? Seriously. So that brings us to 1985, and the release of the third He-Man variant. Remember that Battle Punch feature I talked about earlier? Well, this version of He-Man took that one step further. By adding the feature where you can add small caps from a cap gun to He-Man's back, you would get a loud popping noise anytime you did the Battle Punch. That is a cool toy, although I'm not so sure it's safe to today's standards. In 1986, we got our fourth version of He-Man. This one was called Flying Fist He-Man. He came with a really cool spinning mace and a spinning shield that would attach to each hand. And when you swiveled his waist back and forth, the arms would just go flailing and both of the weapons would spin. Not to mention he had that really cool metallic silver armor on. That was probably what appealed to me the most, and I guarantee appealed to a lot of other kids out there. We liked shiny things in the 80s. 1987 got skipped over. We didn't get a new He-Man variant this year, although we did get a live-action He-Man movie. And then in 1988, the final version of He-Man came out. This was called Laser Power He-Man, and he actually was only released over in Italy and Spain, so the United States never got to see him, which is why I don't actually have him myself. He was the first He-Man to look completely different than the rest of them. It's pretty obvious they were basing his look off of Dolph Lundgren's from the live-action movie. If you can get a hold of this, you're a lucky guy, because he is hard to find now and he goes for way too much money than I want to pay for him. Like I said earlier, He-Man played a pretty big role in my childhood. I really loved these toys, and I still love them today. He-Man saw a bit of a relaunch in 2002 with new figures sculpted by the Four Horsemen and released by Mattel. They were really cool toys, but they just didn't seem to catch on with the newer generation. But good things do seem to be on the horizon for He-Man now, as there are tons of rumors out there about new figures being released, and apparently Mattel will be making a pretty big announcement coming up at the New York Comic-Con. So definitely stay tuned, do your searches on the internet. I know I, myself, am very anxious to see what we're gonna get. Well, I hope you enjoyed this small look at the original He-Man action figures. I hope that maybe I've sparked some interest in you guys and Those of you who are going to go out there and try to track down those figures you had as a kid, trust me, they're totally worth it to buy now. I have an entire collection sitting on my shelf at home, and I still love them. I look forward to possibly doing some more episodes of Plastic Treasures in the future, so definitely leave me some feedback. Let me know what you thought. I'd like to cover some of the lesser known action figures that I remember from my childhood. Anybody remember Food Fighters? Take care, guys, and thanks for watching.